It began at 3:17 a.m. Universal Time Coordinated. Every telescope, satellite, and orbital sensor began screaming with the same alert. Multiple spatial ruptures. Unknown mass signatures. Incoming. Dr. Leanne Everett, head of the Orbital Defense Network, stared at the impossible numbers scrolling across her screen. That can't be right," she whispered. "That's an entire armada." Then the sky tore open. Not one rupture. Not two. 37 simultaneous rifts opened across Earth's orbit, each one vomiting out titanic warships plated in obsidian armor. Their hulls glowed with crimson energy veins, imperial markings unmistakable to anyone who studied deep space powers. Within minutes, Earth's night vanished under the shadows of invading ships. Cities from Sydney to Sao Paulo looked up in horror as alien dreadnoughts eclipsed the moon. Social media exploded in panic. People poured into the street. Governments scrambled to interpret what felt like the end of the world. And yet, Earth's defense grid remained silent. No lasers. No interceptors. No counterfire. Not because the system was down, every weapons array blinked ready. Not because Earth was unprepared. Every operator waited, tense and unmoving. The world held its breath, as if following orders it didn't understand. In the darkened command chamber deep under Geneva, Dr. Everett turned to the one man standing at the center of the room, the director of the Astrius Initiative. "Should we activate the grid?" she asked, voice trembling. The director didn't answer. Instead, he pressed a single button on his console, locking down the entire global defense network. "No," he said calmly. "Protocol Astrius is in effect." Lien's heart nearly stopped. "But sir, that's the kill switch protocol. We only use that if Earth is invaded," the director replied. His eyes never left the screens displaying thousands of incoming hostiles. "Today it is." Above Earth, the Imperial Fleet unfolded into formation, tens of thousands of gunship wings, cruiser phalanxes, and fortress-class dreadnoughts drifting into position like a planetary execution squad. Humanity watched in horror. The Empire watched with triumph. Earth's defense grid watched in silence. And far above the atmosphere, the first alien flagship turned its colossal cannons toward the Pacific. The sky did not just darken. It promised death. The world went still. Every screen on Earth, every phone, billboard, satellite feed, abruptly shifted to the same image. A towering alien figure bathed in harsh red light, draped in Imperial war regalia. His 4 eyes glowed like molten coals as he spoke. "People of Earth, you stand before the might of the Valorian Imperium. Your world is annexed." The firing sequence began with a tremor. The Imperial flagship's spinal cannon ignited, an antimatter beam capable of cracking a moon in half. 12 other dreadnoughts aligned their planetary kill weapons beside it, forming a wall of annihilation aimed directly at Earth. The Valorian warlord raised one clawed hand. "Erase them." The beams fired. A blinding lattice of antimatter lances screamed toward Earth, tearing through clouds, burning the upper atmosphere into glassy arcs of plasma. Billions watched the sky ignite. And then, the beams stopped. Not slowed. Not deflected. Not blocked. They simply ceased to exist mid-flight. Like someone had deleted them from reality. Gasps echoed across the planet. Valorian crews stared at their consoles in confusion and growing terror. The warlord snarled. "Fire again." They did. The second volley vanished too. And in that moment of baffled silence, the Earth spoke. A single system came online. A name whispered only in theoretical military papers. A project denied by every government. A protocol the galaxy believed impossible. Astrius Initiative, activated. Global Countermeasure Array, live. Target priority, absolute. The stars themselves seemed to blink. Then Earth attacked. Not with missiles. Not with lasers. Not with ship. But with instantaneous light-lance singularities, weapons years ahead of anything the galaxy knew existed. 7,000 microscopic spatial fractures opened around the Imperial Fleet, and in 7.4 seconds, every Imperial ship above Earth died. Dreadnought hulls sheared cleanly apart, perfect, surgical cuts as if the metal had decided to stop being solid. Cruisers folded in on themselves, crushed by localized gravity spikes no larger than a coin. Gunships evaporated in white bursts of molecular unbinding. There were no explosions, no dramatic fireballs, no debris fields. The Valorian Armada simply ceased to exist. In space where the fleet once hovered, there was only silence. Not even dust remained. The galaxy watched the entire annihilation live. Billions of alien viewers stared at the impossible truth. Earth had weapons that broke the rules of physics. Earth's response was instantaneous. Earth could erase an empire in seconds. In the command chamber beneath Geneva, Dr. Lien Everett whispered the only words that made sense. "We just ended a war that never even started." The director of Astrius stood motionless, eyes reflecting the now empty space above the planet. "Begin containment cleanup," he said softly, "and prepare for retaliation. Because humanity knew something the rest of the galaxy was about to learn. If the Empire attacked so boldly, they were only the first. The Valorian Empire expected panic. They expected fear. They expected Earth to beg. Instead, Earth prepared coordinate. Deep beneath the Alps, the Astrius war room reconfigured itself, holomaps shifting to show dozens of red sectors. Imperial shipyards, war foundries, hypergate nexuses, command citadels. Dr. Lien Everett stared at them. "Are we actually doing this? We're sending fleets straight into their territory?" The director didn't hesitate. "They attacked civilians. They brought extermination weapons to our skies. We cannot wait for their second wave." He placed his palm on the launch interface. "All Terran fleets, execute relay jump." The room shook as something ancient, hidden, and incomprehensibly powerful came online. The counterstrike begins. Across the solar system, humanity's secret fleets, never publicly acknowledged, their existence denied for decades, activated. Not bulky warships like the galaxy used. Not lumbering cruisers dependent on energy siphons. These were Revenant-class relay destroyers, ships built around Astrius microlance arrays. Silent. Fast. Invisible to most known sensors. Earth didn't invade. Earth arrived. Instantaneously. One moment, Imperial space was quiet. The next, dozens of human strike groups materialized above key target. The Valorian High Command scrambled in confusion. How did they breach our outer hypergates? How are they teleporting fleets? Impossible, they're violating space-time limits. But impossibility had already died in orbit around Earth. Surgical devastation. At Shipyard Prime, 5 human destroyers released synchronized microlances. The facility, capable of producing a dreadnought every 6 months, vanished in a silent burst of unlight. Not exploding, erased. At the Imperial Foundry moon of Raskol, factory complexes hundreds of kilometers wide collapsed into gravitational knots and disappeared. At Hypergate Node V19, humanity delivered the true message. A single ship disabled the entire megastructure without harming a single civilian station nearby. Precision beyond anything the Empire ever dreamed. No war. No occupation. Just prevention. Human commanders transmitted a unified broadcast to every Valorian system. "We do not seek your annihilation. You are not our enemy unless you choose to be. But you will not threaten Earth again." No civilian centers were attacked. No colonies were touched. No biological weapons were deployed. This was not conquest. This was severing the Empire's ability to wage war, permanently. Across the Valorian territory, their entire military infrastructure collapsed in under 3 hours. Their admirals watched in disbelief as every strategic asset they'd built over centuries was dismantled with mathematical precision. The Emperor's realization. In his throne chamber, Emperor Cthuan trembled as sensor feeds updated. Shipyard Prime, gone. Gate network, down. Outer armadas, missing. And Earth had done all this, without losing a single ship. This is not a war, he whispered. This is judgment. Humanity didn't destroy the Empire. They simply removed its fangs. And now, with everything crippled, there was only one thing left to do. The ruins of the Imperial Armada still glittered in low orbit, twisted metal, drifting reactors, and the silent ghosts of a once invincible fleet. But humanity wasn't celebrating. Humanity was waiting. Deep beneath Earth's surface, in the command nexus, every holoscreen displayed the same blinking message.